What's up, Cowboys Nation? And we are going to be doing just a recap of the 2024 Dallas Cowboys NFL Draft here on Cowboys Can Fan, your number one place to get the most insightful insights based on what other people say. So first of all, let's just start off with our number one pick, Tyler Guyton. Now, PFF graded him an average grade, although with the trade, it does kind of feel like it should be an above average pick grade. But let's not argue with them because this is just text and I have no one that's going to give me any feedback on that. So Dallas selected the former defensive end Guyton out of Oklahoma to reinforce their offensive line. He is the 39th ranked player on the PFF Big Board and is considered something of a project with outstanding athletic ability. He didn't allow a sack in 355 pass blocking reps this season, but he only earned a 59.0 PFF True Blast pass blocking grade. We are off to a great start. Let's have a look at his fundamentals. Now, overall, his comparables are nothing to really stand out, especially when you look at his zone grade was down in that 25 percentile. But at least with his pass block grade and his gap grade, he was up around that 75 percentile, which is like what you like to see. And his run block grade was also not great. However, looking at his snap alignments as well, he played a lot more snaps in 2023. So, of course, there's a lot more to grade him on about that. Good to see that he did increase his snaps each season, although he played right tackle for all of his career essentially. First look, 6'7", 327 pounds. Guyton is raw, but there aren't many offensive linemen who have a better athletic mold. He has starting caliber NFL gifts, but must eliminate negatives in both the run and pass games to succeed at the next level. We'll quickly have a look at his analysis here. True elite movement skills, fires off the ball. His kick slides cover a ton of ground without him having to overextend and get off balance. Good power with initial punch, and he evolved hand techniques from 2022 to 2023. That's good. We want to see that trajectory for. We don't want to see him plateau in 2022 and 2023. The cons, though, strike placement is off, allowing defenders to more easily roll off his blocks. Hand placement is very inconsistent when it comes to strike location, late to react to stunts, twists, delayed rushes, more of a pusher than a blocker, and high pad level at the snap. So Guyton has basically it's his physical traits that attracted the Cowboys to this guy. 6'8", 322 on NFL Draft Buzz, the 9th ranked position of offensive lineman. And we're going to just basically look at his measurables and then who he kind of matches with here. So right away you can see that he did have that good arm length, over 34 inches is what you're looking for, even though he was just at that 50 percentile. But the things that stand out here are a strong vertical and broad jump, which shows us that he has a nice powerful base, and you're going to need that in the NFL. And he had a great three-cone drill, being previously a tight end in the 83rd percentile for his three-cone drill at the combine. Really quick, his overall rating, an 80 on his pass blocking and a 67 on his run blocking. So a little low on the run blocking, but as a tackle, we're really hoping that he can solidify the left side of the football, playing left tackle next to Tyler Smith at left guard, and hold down the fort, essentially allowing the QB, Dak, and or whoever else it's going to be in our future to set up and make a play. They have him ranked as comparables to Spencer Brown, Tyler Steen, and Jalen Mayfield. But yeah, Tyler Guyton, good pick in terms of need. Average pick given by PFF. Next year, we're going to look at Marshon Kneeland. Marshon Kneeland was a good pick. That's what the PFF has him ranked at. Dallas recovers from defensive line depth that they lost in free agency as they pick up Western Michigan's Marshon Kneeland. He is a natural run defender who improved as a pass rusher as his career progressed over the last 2 seasons. He posted an 88.0 PFF run defensive grade, which is the best among FBF edge rushers who played at least 300 run defensive snaps in that span. I really liked this guy when we were doing our mock drafts, but there was just never really, we didn't think there was a need to draft edge, especially with the other positions that we need to fill. However, I don't hate this. He is right up there, probably in like the 90th percentile on all of his 2023 comparables, and just improved year after year after year. with 28 hurries, 6 sacks, and 3 QB hits last season in 2023. Primarily an outside tackle, but he did play a little bit over the tackle as well. And sometimes he played off ball in 2023 too. So, he's slightly more versatile than what you would expect an edge to be. Kneeland's competition wasn't the best, but he absolutely dominated it, especially in 2023. NFL teams will love his passion for physicality. He has the body, explosiveness, and mentality of an NFL contributor. Let's look at his pros and cons. Pros: impressive burst for a player at his weight. Unique build that comes with ideal arm length. Pass rush profile is based on imposing strength, converting speed to power. Doesn't just want to run around blockers, he wants to run through them. And he's got a relentless motor. We like that. The cons: stiff when changing direction, lacks flexibility, frenetic style, can be reckless at times. What's frenetic? Google it. Not a very deep pass rush arsenal. Let's have a look at Marshon Kneeland on NFL Draft Buzz, the 14th ranked DL position. And some of his measurables here stand out to me is his shuttle and 3 cones. So he's really good at that lateral movement speed. And he has a pretty good broad and vertical, 72 percentile for broad and 76 percentile for vertical. So he's got power. He's got power, and he's got that left to right speed. And a 4.75 40, which ain't bad, but his 10-yard was a little under average at 1.66. That's in that 45th percentile. So another big thing to make note is, although his arms are 34.5 inches, which is great, his entire span is 83 3/8 of an inch. That's in the 90 percentile. So he's got a big wingspan. Easily can get in there, either grab the QB or grab a running back trying to escape out of the backfield. He's got that nice big wingspan. Tackling was 70%, pass rush was 79%, and his run defense was 83%. All fairly good metrics, especially for a rookie, if those hold up in the NFL. And who is he most compared to? Josh Paschal, Dalen Hayes, and Cameron Thomas. So I'm excited to see Marshon Kneeland out on the field. I also love this. Probably one of my favorite pictures too on NFL Draft Buzz. Guy looks like he likes to have a good time, and he's in his pads. I mean, can't hate on that. So Marshon Kneeland, very excited to see what he can do and how the Dallas Cowboys are going to use him this year in 2024. Next up, Cooper Beebe, who we picked up because of that trade back in the first round. This pick grade was an average, but here's what PFF has to say about him. The Cowboys continue to address their offensive line and grab one of the best offensive linemen in college football over the past 2 seasons. Beebe's 91.8 pass blocking grade since 2021 ranks first amongst all FBS guards in that span, and he allowed just 2 sacks from 1,206 pass blocking snaps over those 3 years. The question is, where will he play in the NFL? With a move to center, a possibility. And I think that's what everyone in Cowboys Nation is thinking, moving to center. I wouldn't care if he played guard and you kick out Tyler Smith, the left tackle, but the consensus seems that it will be Guyton on left tackle, Tyler Smith on left guard, and then Cooper Beebe putting his hat in the ring for that center position. And I hope that the kid works out, because that would be deadly if he does. He was a 14th ranked offensive lineman. 6'3", 322, big boy. Had a really good 40 for it at the combine in the 93rd percentile, and a decent, better than decent 10-yard split in the 79th percentile. You can also see that his shuttle and his 3-cone drill, he's really agile on that lateral movement, so that's great to see. And had a great broad jump, 89th percentile. And but although his vertical is really low, I really care more about broad jump personally. Having a look at his overall ratings, his pass blocking was 100%, so you can't get better than that. His run blocking was 91%. You can't get much better than that. So overall, a good selection here, I think, for what the Cowboys are needing. And we're going to compare him to Ed Ingram from LSU, Cole Strange from Chattanooga, and Andrew Voorhees from USC. Did we look at his measurables, though? Let's open this up. I mean, his comparables are wildly good. All of them are nearly at 100%, and that's, something I can understand why the Cowboys would not pass up on him. He also played like a whole bunch of offensive snaps, almost 1,000 in his last 2 seasons each. So and 700 over 750 in his first season. Although his grade did dip, most of that is because he switched positions from left tackle in 2021, which is nice to see, that he has this versatility, and into playing mostly left guard, with a couple snaps at right tackle in 2023 as well. Overall, Cooper Beebe, someone who we're going to be looking to play center for the Cowboys. And if we did hit on Guyton and Beebe well enough that these guys are going to come and make the offensive line better, it's a big bonus. And I think a lot of people are going to be okay that we didn't draft a running back. Even though a running back is a sexy pick, I think we'll be okay that we didn't draft a running back with these first 3 picks, considering 73 was a pick that we got for drafting back. Fourth on the list here for pick 87 is Marist Liufau. And I don't know, maybe it's Liufau. I'm going to pronounce it Liufau until I hear different. And I could be wrong already and just not listening to people. This pick grade was below average. Liufau played with competitiveness and violence that lends itself to some tackling inconsistencies. He's a bit of a slow processor as well, but when he's able to read and trigger, he can make splash plays, as evidenced by his 35 defensive stops between the run and pass game over the past 2 seasons. He projects as a core special teamer with the upside to be a rotational linebacker. So we're looking to see more out of him than just a special teams play. And if he can fight his way over the season or even before the season onto the starting lineup, or maybe being that number one backup linebacker can come in, play 30-40% of the snaps, that would be awesome. Even 30% would be great. He's really good at his coverage grade, and he's a little lackluster in the run defense grade and his pass rush grade, but otherwise could be serviceable, especially if he's able to drop back and be very good at coverage. He had 29 tackles in 2023, 14 assisted tackles, but he missed 10 tackles. So that's something he is going to have to work on. He did improve from 2022 to 2023, and he's mostly played box and on the D-line. So that's kind of what we were looking for, really. First look, 6'2", 239. Liufau is a powerful downhill linebacker who attacks ball carriers and blockers with bad intentions. His instincts and feel for spot zone coverage still need work if he's to be relied upon consistently. He is projected as a contributor inside linebacker for either the 4-3 or 3-4 defense. That's nice to hear. Some pros from PFF, nasty when coming downhill. Great power at contact despite being just 238 pounds. Just a nice change of direction, ability, explosiveness. Will never shy away from taking on blockers. Quick to push, pull blockers in his way. But the cons here, a little slow to recognize where the ball is going and average long speed. Now this con, a little slow to recognize where the ball is going. That's something that he definitely will need to work on. And with the coaching of Mike Zimmer, I expect him he's either going to get it or he won't. Mike Zimmer himself said if you look at the behind the scenes draft footage of when they actually drafted Marist, Mike Zimmer's biggest comment that I pulled away from that is that what sold him on Liufau was that Liufau knew what all the different players were doing on the defense, and that is a big thing to Mike Zimmer. So pretty hopeful for this guy. But we're going to have a quick look at his image to me is just really unassuming. Looks like a nice dude that might be working at Chipotle or Save on Foods. Up here, it's a grocery store in Canada. But, maybe it would be, what do you got down in the United States? Some sort of grocery store. 6'2", 234 here. And his measurables, we see he does have those long arms. That's nice. He's got also a nice big span on him. Decent 40 shuttle and 10 yards, above the 70th percentile in those. So he's quick enough, but he's not really powerful. His broad jump, he was in the 8%. So really going to probably be utilizing him more in as a speed guy and holding down some coverage scenarios due to how good his coverage grade was with PFF. He did face an offensive rating of 79% overall, and his tackling needs work 61%, pass rush 67%, run defense 70%, and coverage 84%. So I'm looking much more like a coverage linebacker than a pass rusher or defense, run defense. linebacker, which is obviously something we've had issues with. So a little concern there, but let's see what the kid can do. We'll give him some time to showcase that. Henry 2020, DeMarco Jackson, and Pete Werner are his player comparisons. So big hopes for Marist Liufau, especially seeing that he was drafted at number 87. We did not have a round 4 pick, but round 5, PFF gave Caelen Carson an elite grade. And this is kind of the consensus that we were hearing online from people who are guests on our Draftacular Extravaganza show and also just on the old social media sphere. Like many who play under head coach Dave Clawson, Carson's is a physical prospect. He earned an impressive 83.4 run defense grade in 2023, ranking 33rd amongst FBS cornerbacks. Carson will fit well in a cornerback room stacked with playmakers such as DeRon Bland and Trevon Diggs, having forced 5 incompletions from single coverage in 2023. The Cowboys get a projected 2-round steal by selecting the Wake Forest product. Now, I don't know if that means like he was projected to go in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, and there's 2 rounds back that we drafted in the round 5. I don't know. You do the math, but let's have a look at this kid's metrics. Overall, his 2023 comparables are pretty damn good, especially when you add in that run defensive grade. It would be interesting to see maybe Caelen play a little bit of safety position when that, if that is an opportunity for him because of how good his run defensive grade is. But he was a pretty much average in everything else, a little bit above average generally. His coverage grade 71.7, so it's not great, it's not bad, and he was very consistent from 21 to 2023. Played his most defensive snaps of his college career in 2023, which is great, and basically was a corner his entire time. He did play a snap at least on all of the alignment opportunities for him, and the passer rating did go up from 93 to 98.2. However, from what we're hearing, Caelen Carson is an elite pick especially in the 5th round. 6 foot, 195. Carson lacks the long speed recovery speed to play island coverage. He can be a good CB2 or 3 as an off-coverage defender in a zone-heavy scheme, bringing good down here closing speed and reliable tackling. Let's see what they have to say about his pros and cons on PFF. Pros: displays quick, click, and close ability downhill. Very willing tackler. His hips can flip fluidly and quickly. He likes to keep it physical through the route and plays above his weight class in run defense. Cons: his lack of weight strength show up when he's tackling, and he needs to get hands on receiver to keep up with him vertically. So that could obviously cause some problems depending on how referees are going to be calling the cornerbacks this year in the NFL. Let's have a look at Caelen Carson's NFLDraftBuzz.com statistics here. 6 foot 199 they have him listed at. He didn't really have much, a 4.440, and otherwise nothing really stands out. I guess he wasn't at the combine. Maybe he wasn't invited, I don't know, or decided to opt out. 79% offensive rating, and the QB when targeting him was 95.7. So that's a little higher than I'd like to see. And so I do have my concerns about Caelen, but he is entering a great draft room with Diggs and Bland to support him. So tackling 71%, run defense 82%, coverage 74%, zone 69%, and man press 73%. So nothing really terrible there. Everything's right around that 70% mark, except for his run defense, and that's nice to see because he's going to be able to play up on the line or come in and make some stops on the run game. Maybe that's how they're figuring of utilizing him. Comparables are Aaron Robinson, Terrell Smith, and Shaun Wade. So excited to see what Caelen Carson does. He's got that elite pick grade, so there's a lot of hope for this guy. Now we move on to round 6, our third to last pick, I'm sorry. Ryan Flournoy. Ryan Flournoy offers solid production. Flournoy? Ryan Flournoy. Let's say it right, Alex. Flournoy offers solid production, averaging 2.67 yards per route run over the past 2 seasons. His best attribute is his hands, dropping only 3.2% of the catchable passes thrown his way since 2022. So that's 2 seasons worth. The kid does not drop a ball. I like to see that. There is no PFF stats on this guy, so we're going to go and check him out on NFL Draft Buzz. 6'1", 202 pounds, out of Southeast Missouri State. He was the 31st ranked wide receiver, so you're not really expecting much from him. An outside X receiver type. He's got big hands on him in the 81st percentile. Not the longest arms or the biggest span, below average in both those. But he's got a good 40 and a good 10 yard. In fact, both of these are 73 percentile and 74 percentile respectively. So a 4.4 40, 1.5 10 yard. And he's a powerful dude. His vertical, his broad jump, and his bench press, 91 percentile vertical, 97 percentile broad jump, so nice strong legs on him, and 85% bench. So bench that 19 times. So he's got some strength in him. We like to see that. 90% hands, short receiving 87%, intermediate routes 92%, deep threat 96%, and blocking 74%. So he's a decent blocker too. The kid looks exciting, and they compare him to Jaquari Robertson, Tylan Wallace, and Malik Knowles. So there you go. Ryan Flournoy. There's a lot of hope on this guy. I'm excited to see him in training camp. Round 7, we have Nathan Thomas. 2 round 7 picks here. First one's Nathan Thomas out of Louisiana, tackle. When you turn on Nathan Thomas's tape, expect a mauler in the run game. Although he struggled in pass protection in each of the past 2 seasons, Thomas showed off his athleticism on the run concepts. His 76.1% run blocking grade in 2023 ranked 18th amongst FBS offensive tackles. And to get a guy who's 18th in that, ranked 18th on his run blocking grade, that's really interesting to see, especially in the 7th round. Now, as you can see here, he's much better technically at run blocking than he was at pass blocking, and he had a really good gap grade too, so that's exciting to see. Although his true pass set pass block grade is just right at the 57 or 50% with the 57.2 overall grade. He played left tackle. That was all that he played, so he's pretty much a left tackle dude. In 2023, though, he allowed 5 sacks, 2 hits, and 5 hurries on his quarterback. Still improved from 2022, except for the sacks that he allowed, but his grade is much better compared to 2021 and 2022 at 74.8 overall. First look, 6'5", 334. If you keep things at a phone booth, Thomas has the power profile to make the roster as a depth of offensive tackle in a man gap offense. We'll go over here and have a look at Nathan Thomas, the 37th ranked offensive lineman. They have him at 6'5", 332. Big thing to note here is his arms are just a little short at 33 3/4 inches. You really want that to be above 34 inches. So, that's a kind of a concern. Maybe why he did not get drafted before the Cowboys snatched him up in the 7th round. But his span is 83 or 80 in the 87 percentile. So he does have a long span, which is nice to see. Nothing really special in his metrics. He is pretty quick with the shuttle, 70th percentile, and his broad jump, he's got some powerful legs on him, 107 broad jump or 74th percentile there. So nothing really else standing out, but you got some good measurables here. Overall, his pass blocking was 64% and his run blocking was 72%. He also only faced a defensive rating of an average of 70%, so not the highest competition, but we're not going to hate on him for that. James Hudson, Spencer Burford, and Anthony Bradford are his comparisons, but since we didn't have, I don't think any, no analysis on the kid from PFF, let's go see what NFLDraftBuzz.com has to say. Takes much more pride in the run game, brings good initial quickness with the ability to reach and steal blocks effectively, utilizes a strong grip and big hands to scare defenders, exhibits solid body control to adjust and reposition, demonstrates reliable power and run blocking, capable of moving defenders to clear paths, responsive to defensive shifts. His size and upper body strength will help him anchor effectively against power rushes, shows potential inside as a guard, and recognizes and reacts to defensive stunts and delayed blitzes. So he's got a good football IQ. But let's look at these weaknesses. Lateral movement and footwork need improvement to handle speedier edge rushers. Occasionally leans and overextends, leading to balance issues and missed blocks. Needs to refine hand placement and pad level consistently to maximize effectiveness. Lacks experience in an interior line position, which may be necessary given his skill set. And his pass protection technique requires further development. Well, he's not really going to be starting. At least that's not the need. I mean, of course, look, if he turns out to be a stud, get him on the field ASAP, right? But, someone there who can help grow and push Tyler Guyton to the guy that we need him to be. And also, if he turns out to be a good depth, especially for when the Cowboys need to start running the ball, get the dude out on the field, an average pick grade. So moving on to our last pick of the draft and final and 244, Justin Rogers, defensive interior out of Auburn. Pick grade was average. Rogers was better in 2022 when he earned a 70.9 PFF grade. He was better against the run than a pass rusher this season, earning 65.3 PFF run defensive grade in 2023. So let's see what his comparables are. I mean, he's below average on everything. So this was basically a 7th round pick 244. I mean, not much you can ask for. I think the Cowboys are banking on him maybe having a little bit better of a performance like he did in 2022. He took a major step back in 2023, allowed 8 hurries and a sack, and no hits though, except for the sack, I guess. And his snap alignments, he played essentially he played. The big difference here in 2022 and 2023 is he played mostly A-gap in 2022, and in 2023 he played mostly B-gap. He did have A-gap and B-gap experience in both those years, but that's where his focus was on B-gap in 2023. First look, Rogers is a big body on the defensive line, but his production hasn't matched that to date. His best season came in 2022 when he earned a 70.9 run defensive grade, as we've heard. 6'3", 346 pounds, so he does have a lot of weight on him, and I like that. Justin Rogers here, Captain Rogers, Jolly Rogers, whatever you guys want to call him. He's the 44th ranked defensive lineman. Basically, his weight is his biggest attribute. Everything else is not really good at all. I mean, not even his arms or his span. So he's going to have a lot of work to do to prove that he can play in the NFL. 71% tackle, 65% pass rush, and a 73% run defense. So we'll see how he does. I mean, you're really just hopeful that these guys show up and play in the 7th round. Nesta Jade, Silvera, Keandre Coburn, and John Ridgway, who was once a Dallas Cowboy, are all his comparables. So looking forward to seeing what Rogers can do. Let's get a quick rundown on his strengths and weaknesses before we close this out. Rogers has a wide base and low center of gravity to hold his ground, as well as the upper body strength to shed blockers. Provides some secondary interior pass rush, getting most penetration when playing 3 technique. He's a very instinctive when it comes to countering and solid with overall hand usage. Combines strength and footwork to fill holes inside as well. He shows impressive bursts and enough quickness to occasionally threaten the edge. And Rogers has the strong core and powerful hands to shed blockers. Let's look at his weaknesses. Only 3. Lacks closing speed and inconsistent quickness off the snap prevents him from being an elite pass rusher. Rogers doesn't have a lot of suddenness to his game, and he won't wreck players on a regular basis. Rogers struggles with leverage off the snap and plays too tall, limiting his effectiveness as a pass rusher. Well, he's a big body dude, and the Cowboys like their big bodies. So work in progress with Rogers. Let's see what happens, but there's really low expectations for him. So that's the whole draft for the Dallas Cowboys. I think we picked up enough players for the offensive line, enough quality players for the offensive line that we can say, okay, that should be improved. And we look at our defensive side of the ball. We got some dudes who can add some scariness when they're rushing the quarterback on the opposing team, maybe help him, push him out of the pocket a little bit more, or make him throw the ball quicker. And then we picked up a linebacker and Liufau, who should be able to help with the coverage scenarios in that kind of middle of the field, as well as, look, if he's got that dog in him, I can see him making an improvement in terms of his rush defense. So that's it. That's all. What do you guys think of the 2024 NFL Draft? Of course, just leave your comments if you care enough in the comments bar, as well as like and subscribe, or like and follow us, whatever platform you're watching this on. Peace.